Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about football here because we are not quite into season as of quite yet. Season will begin to kick off Thursday, I do believe, is going to be our first games, if I remember how the NFL likes to do things.
It is going to be Thursday, September 4th, the Cowboys and the Eagles to kick us off.
What a start off. And boy, them Cowboys are... yeah, I can't imagine anyone's happy out there in the city of Dallas. Fun fact, they actually released a documentary on Netflix I've been watching, and it is as advertised. It is about how I'd expect it to go.
Yeah. Very good advertising on that series. It looks like, all sorts of fun new details about that 90s empire even.
I think it's a good look into not only the 90s empire that we built, but also a good look into sort of the mind of Jerry Jones and what has driven him to be the person he is.
Absolutely mad with power.
Something like that. Some people would say that.
Sure.
I think most people would say that. Anyone who's not Jerry Jones, I guess, or his family members, his kids.
Anyone who doesn't rely on him for a paycheck.
Yeah, pretty much. Him and Micah Parsons are still fighting about who if he's on the team or not. Jerry Jones says he is on the team because he signed a contract, and something about mommies and daddies, and you can't be kind to mommy and daddy and something.
And we all know how NFL players love being compared to children.
Yeah, I think it's one of their favorite things, in fact. Mm-hmm. So that's how we're going to kick off our week. Denver, I think we have our first home game here on Sunday, and we are
hosting the Titans.
That's right. We will get to see Cam Ward in his first actual game of start here, see how the young lad does. Fortunately, he does have to go against that Denver defense, which is still pretty mighty, I think, all things being said.
Yeah.
Coming out of the preseason, a lot of teams are riding some highs, riding some lows, but today we are starting to see some changes now in roster movements.
Yeah, now it's time to see who got cast off from other teams, who can you kind of steal out of the dumpster pile.
Pretty much. In the Denver, the biggest move that we made is we traded Vele out to New Orleans Saints. Who else? That our favorite trading partner, especially with Sean Payton here. I mean,
yeah, in the new era, very close friends apparently.
We are extremely close friends. What's yours is mine. Mi casa, su casa sort of deal. It seems like, but we did trade Vele out. He was a 7th round draft pick last year and turned out to be a very, very good commodity for us, at least in the possession area. Traded him for a 4th and a 7th pick, which overall I think is a goodish deal. He was a 7th round draft pick, and unfortunately for Vele, him being a 7th round draft pick and Pat, our new 3rd or 4th round draft pick, just kind of outranked him, and they play the same position. Him and Sutton and Pat, I forget, Bryant. Yeah, Pat Bryant all play the same sort of thing, so you can't have too many of those guys running around the roster.
And I think it was a thing we noted throughout the offseason. We were loading up in certain position rooms where it was like, here's going to be a lot of competition. Yeah,
the good news, though, I think that's a bright spot, because that means Troy Franklin's starting to come around, and we did see him have some fairly good plays in this preseason. Hopefully it maintains. He kind of has the Mims arc where he was really fast and forgot how to catch the ball that first year. Now we can kind of put it all together a little bit.
Say, some progress was being made here.
Yep, and Mims, of course, he was probably the most improved player I saw last year, especially towards the end there. He was huge for us in a number of different ways.
Absolutely, yeah. A huge step forward from Mims. I hope to keep that moving forward. I think my biggest takeaway, I'll say, from just looking at the preseason results for what they are, which is, not the same product we're about to get for the regular season. But that all being said, 3 W's out of our 3 potentials with scores of 28-19, 27-7, and 30-9 for a team that has spent the better part of the last decade and a half begging for 17 points or more. Yeah, we kind of figured out how to score now a little bit. Defense, we know who they are and who they have been even since we've won the Super Bowl. It's never been our weak spot for the most part. If we can put everything together or even have just a little bit more offense, we win a few more games, and I think that's scary for a lot of people. I've seen Denver be the dark horse a couple times throughout a number of different analysts' boards going throughout. Who's an unexpected team? Everyone's like, yeah, but they were in the playoffs last year. It's hard to count us as unexpected. It's just, it's still on the upswing, I think, is hopefully the momentum we're carrying into the season. Yeah. I am the general manager of this podcast, as we noted early on. You're the head coach. Yep. Let me tell you a story here, and I'm going to give you some options. Fantastic. I'm going to
give you this young, bright, upcoming star to potentially be your quarterback. But also I'm going to bring in someone who's maybe a little bit older and safer. Which one of these guys are you going to play?
Do we need to make the playoffs this year?
Do you need to make the playoffs this year? It's ideal.
Okay.
But I also understand if you don't, because we are still sort of we're in the rebuilding phase. I'm trying to I'm working on it. I'm trying to help you.
If it's not if it's not must get in, must make a run this year, I'll start the young pup.
All right. And what if you are trying to, for sure, maybe you're in a weaker division, we'll say. The opportunity is for sure there if you wanted it. Does that change how you do things?
I do think it's dependent on how necessary the wins are in the near term. If you can afford to take some potential L's for the learning curve, that's worthwhile to do. Otherwise, you go for the more veteran safety valve, I think.
Yes, this is a very similar story. In fact, has actually happened. The Indianapolis Colts just went through this, where earlier this week, to everyone's surprise, they said, "Hey guys, Daniel Jones is our starter. You all remember him. We like him a lot. He's the guy we're gonna go with this season." And everyone said, "Huh?
Yeah. This is one of those instances of us putting something on recording and then the team going around and immediately being like, 'Oh, you thought?'"
It's crazy to me that
we literally, like, Richards is the plan A option over here in Indy.
Not only us, to be fair. It was not only, there's a lot of people that are like, you were the starter last year. How often does your returning starter, cough the Denver Broncos, is on the same team and he doesn't get the starting job?
Back, yeah. Especially to Daniel Jones, who lost his starting job, basically got run out of New York by the end of the year there, spent the end of the season chilling out on the Minnesota bench, potentially sneaking into the playoffs there. But yeah, that's a strange turn of events and does not bode well for that Colts team this year, I don't think.
Well, yeah, I don't know. So here's the crazy thing, right, is if we look back and we rewind our retrospective here and go back through the podcast through all of last football season, AR5 has had some issues just overall. I mean, one, he's had some struggles throwing the ball in general, but he's still a very, very young quarterback, might I add, still sort of learning on the go, it seems like. But also the wrench and everything was when he decided, like, I'm good here. I don't want to go back in. I'm done playing.
There was definitely some attitude issues that seemed to pop up last season. I do remember that. Certainly not the ideal young building block QB, you wouldn't say. He's had a little bit of a bumpier road, but I think at this point where you are as a franchise, that's still your best potential, like, he has the highest ceiling still of that QB room, I would say. The Daniel Jones inclusion is an interesting wrinkle and one that just continues to be like, "Hey, Anthony, we do not trust you. We do not think you're the guy yet." And like some places that's fine, but it's probably not going to flourish a lot of growth in quarterbacks.
It's interesting. So the quarterback I think they are trying to hope and go for this year is basically Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold, very similar story. A New York quarterback got run out of town because, boy, was it bad here. And not to his fault, but a lot of people did make him sort of the blame guy a little bit. Not just him, but there was a number of factors. But of course, as the quarterback, you're the face of the franchise, so easy to point up to the post and say, that guy, he's my problem.
Yeah. It's just a wild turn for considering that the quarterbacks that have been getting run out so far have been the last little juice you could wring out of Phillip Rivers. Joe Flacco was winning ball games last season.
Man was firing the 500 yards down the field.
Yeah.
500 yards total in a game. That man is crazy.
I mean, you've been getting scraps and bits out here in the quarterback. Like at a certain point, you have to find.
They had what's his name? Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz experiment. Era. I didn't even remember that. Thank you.
They've had a dark day.
Since the Peyton departure, it has not been pretty out there.
Well, Andrew Luck.
We know how that goes. I mean, they had the couple years, but I would say even that had a not great end to it. Considering,
they done broke that man.
Yeah, you definitely did not get a full career's worth out of Andrew Luck, and then since then even.
So the crazy thing is, like, it's a little insane to say, but it is possible that this is sort of like the Daniel Jones turning. Because if we look at all the quarterbacks that have left New York and gone elsewhere, we can start with Sam Darnold. He's our most recent one.
Yep.
Geno Smith, another Jets quarterback, left to go someplace else and kind of got a late start to life. Now we see him in our division. We'll see how that goes. I think Daniel Jones, it's possible. He's thrown... I don't think he's going to be a top elite quarterback, but he could just be that solid sort of guy that you could hope that if you put enough pieces around him, he's going to be pretty great. Because Jonathan Taylor, who was the centerpiece of the Indianapolis offense for a season before things went all sort of wacky over there. I mean, he's got a couple Josh Downs and Michael Pittman on the wide receivers. He has a couple different tight end options that are always reliable, if nothing else.
I mean, you can't say that for every tight end option.
No.
I was just curious to see what these two guys are making, because are you saving any money going to Dan?
No. Anthony Richards, I think his option is coming up soon. I think like next year they have to make a decision on him. But I don't...
Daniel Jones has to have already gotten at least one contract, right?
No, because he got the rookie one and the Giants were like... Oh no, he did get a big payout from the Giants actually, I think, because they decided between him and Saquon, and they said we're going to pay Daniel Jones instead of Saquon.
And yeah, no one had any problems with that whatsoever. The fan base said,
nope,
great decision.
Caught on film, caught on tape. In fact, that no running back will be ever as good as the quarterback position ever.
Couldn't possibly impact the game that much.
Nope.
But yeah, that's what I'm thinking now is like, are you even upgrading? You're getting a little bit more experience out of Daniel Jones, but he's still not like...
He is less risky in general.
That's a wild thing to say about one of the worst quarterback performers of last season. It feels like, but...
I don't know if I can blame him for that.
Certainly
the Giants offense is...
There 100% does have to be some like asterisk involved on that there was like New York team involved here. This was a performance for a New York team, so maybe not as fully bad, but I still don't think, it seems at best a lateral step in terms of talent and like ceiling, because Daniel Jones has put up a lot of video now of lackluster performance, I would say. Yeah, that's fair. So Daniel Jones this year is going to make $14 million. Okay. AR5 is going to make $1 million. So you're actually costing yourself quite a bit more to not stick with the young gun option. A little bit. Okay, interesting. Well, that's some decision making, and we'll see how that rolls out through the rest of the year. Who else is in that quarterback room? Out of curiosity, anyone? Do they have a third? That's it. Okay, those are their options. Cool. I wonder if they'll be doing any shopping on the shopping block here. Allegedly, if they're going to shop AR5 and probably get some pieces back. That's what everyone's sort of been saying potentially, depending on how the Dane. I assume they're going to give right. This is all relying very heavily on getting the very best version of Daniel Jones. Yeah, they're going to give him a couple games and kind of fill it out. So the theory is out there is that you let Daniel Jones go do his thing, not kind of take the pressure off him. There's not, like you said, there's nothing really riding on this. But if things are not going well towards like the middle or end of season, there's no problem in saying, well, Danny, you did not throw the dimes. Well, we're going to give our young dude another chance to kind of go out there. And worst case scenario, you paid $14 million this year for Daniel Jones and he's free agent next year. And Anthony got some more learning, hopefully. Yeah. No spite behind this move. Hopefully, right? Surely? Certainly not to have to prove yourself as the starter multiple years in a row. So we'll see how all that plays out in Indianapolis. But I think that is the most exciting thing that had happened in all of offseason that no one was expecting. Yeah, that is definitely one of the biggest switcheroos that I don't think anyone saw. Everyone had Anthony penciled in there. Yeah. Okay. Literally everybody. Okay. Except for the one guy who really matters, and that's the Indianapolis head coach. So, shocks around the world. Very good. Other news that everyone should know of in Tampa Bay, Shiloh Sanders didn't get the job done out there. He unfortunately got cut earlier today. From throwing a punch. He did get ejected earlier for throwing a punch. Yeah, that's tough way to kind of go out there. And then in Cleveland, they are going to plan to keep 4 quarterbacks until Deshaun Watson gets back, who will be their 5th, I guess. And I mentioned this to you off mic before earlier in the offseason, but I do think this is their strategy. They are just going to accumulate all the quarterbacks in the league until no one else has any.
No, because they did release Tyler Huntley earlier today. They said six is a lot.
Oh, okay. They
did release Tyler Huntley, but they are going to keep Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders on the roster. That's the plan. And Deshaun Watson is technically on the roster as well on injury, I do believe.
That is wild.
So I don't know what's going on out there. No, I don't think anyone knows or has known what's been going on out there since ever in the Cleveland franchise, at least the new one.
Yeah, no, it's isn't. There was, who was it? Baker Mayfield was kind of the last bit where it looked like, they're assembling all the pieces.
Well, you remember how Baker got his job, right?
No.
So Baker got his job because I do believe, what was his name? He was another New York quarterback. Give me 1 second. I'll tell you his name exactly.
Pull up the image of the guy with all the jerseys with the quarterback names.
He has so many. He has collected so many.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's like dragging down off the jersey now. Because for a good hot minute there, we had Baker Mayfield starring in insurance commercials wearing a Cleveland Browns uniform.
Was that when he was living in the stadium? Was that the commercials where he was living in the stadium?
Yeah, they were pretty good. I like those. And it looked like, yes, the Cleveland Browns are starting to figure things out and once again join us on competitive football teams.
So if I remember correctly, and I don't remember, so there's two places where this might have happened because this dude has been around. Tyrod Taylor, who used to play he's actually a Jet currently, bounced from the Giants to the Jets. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if it was in Cleveland or in Los Angeles where it was either he was starting and then someone stabbed him in the lung and Baker got a start, or someone stabbed him in the lung and Justin Herbert got a start.
Oh boy.
Like he was trying to go get like an injection or whatever. Like, oops, we missed and we punctured your lung.
That one was the Chargers. That was how.
That was like, what?
Yeah, because I'm pretty certain like the person from the athletic department got fired. And there was discussion about whether or not there was like a lawsuit potential there.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which, because Baker only has 14 starts on his rookie year, which is not a full season.
No, because he was never intended to be the plan, but then he stepped up and immediately started winning, and they're like, actually, here was our plan all along.
Here's our plan. Ha-ha, stab in the lung. Someone had a bet out there somewhere.
Something. Any other football news?
No other football news. Like I said, we are starting Thursday where we get to see the Dallas Cowboys and our beloved Javonte Williams out there as their starting running back this year, going up against who again? Oh, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sure that will turn out just perfectly fine.
In Philly, too, so they'll have fun with that.
Go Birds, go.
Yeah. It looks like that one's going to be on NBC and then Hulu as well. So I don't know if Amazon has Monday night now or...
I don't remember. They keep changing on who has what. Everyone's sort of shuffling in there.
Yeah, a thing that all the fans love about our new media landscape. When
Streaming.
You never know where your game is going to be.
Nope. It's all changed. Whatever happened to the old days where you knew which day Chris Berman was going to be on, and you knew what channel to go look for if you're the AFC or the NFC team. Never anymore.
Nope, never again.